Hey everybody, can't wait to get into today's show. As always, love being able to bring you a new health-based topic each and every day on the Cabral Concept. Today's going to be talking about the main reasons for body itchiness. So I spoke about this on a Cabral host call, one of the weekend shows where people get to write in with their questions and I get the opportunity to answer those each and every weekend. This is something we've been doing now for over 8 years. I'd love to be able to see what the community is saying and do my best to share those answers with them. But every once in a while, a topic continues to come up. And when it does, I want to be able to do a longer, about 15-minute show on that. So today I'm going to bring you the top 11 reasons for why your skin gets itchy. Now, I'm not talking about every once in a while you get an itch and you're like, okay, well, yeah, it was just an itch, right? I totally get that. But some people get this chronic itchiness. So what happens is the itchiness can always be in the back of their arm or around their belly, or sometimes it can move around on a daily basis and they don't always know why. So what I'm going to do right now is share with you all of the main reasons, and then you can begin to, and I'll share with you how to make this happen, figure out which one is your underlying root cause. Okay, so first and foremost, this is a big one, and I think that this is important to go through, that someone will come into our practice and they'll say, all of a sudden, 6 months ago, I just started to get this skin itchiness. Sometimes it's on my arms, sometimes it's on my stomach, sometimes it's in the back of my calves. And we say, okay, has this ever happened to you before in the past? I might say yes or no. So we ask these qualifying questions. And then we always say, did you introduce any new foods a month or two before the itchiness started? Or even just weeks? Or did you start to use a different fabric softener or different types of clothes or anything that touches your skin? So one is introducing new foods in your body. Very common. That's one of the main reasons for skin itchiness is food sensitivities. They're like, oh, well, I started to eat more almonds and use some almond milk, but that's healthy, so it's probably not that. Remember, even if it's a healthy food, some people can react to it. And nuts are one of those things. So don't rule out any healthy food as being a cause for that itchiness. Also, a different fabric softener or detergent or whatever it might be can also be a reason. So please do keep that in mind. Even dryer sheets, if people are using those, anything new, even just a different brand, that can be a reason. So very simple, right? We get to use a variable test. What did you add in? Let's take that out. Does the itchiness go away over the next week or two? If yes, okay, that was the answer. All right, so that's the first one. The second is histamine-based issues. And I think I have a show either this week or next week on histamines. I've talked a lot about mast cell activation syndrome or histamines many times in the past. Histamines, I know people have been kind of saying it lately as a root cause. Histamines are not a root cause. Okay, histamines are a symptom, just like inflammation, and histamines are literally inflammation, of something deeper. Okay, histamines could be a deeper reaction from an environmental or food-based trigger and or gut-based issues. Because the body, well, we always produce histamines, and we have to produce histamines. If we don't, we actually don't have a healthy immune system. So we need to produce a level of histamines. But what happens in some people's bodies, they do not break down, degrade, and remove those histamines as well. So they have more mast cells, they produce more histamines. Part of that is through gut-based imbalances, candida overgrowth, SIBO, parasites, H. pylori, but also leaky gut, that's part of it. We'll talk about that in a moment. But also one of the big things is that they're not producing enough of the enzyme called diamine oxidase. Okay, and they're not producing that oftentimes because of improper gut imbalances. So environmental allergies, pollen outdoors, mold in the home, all of those can be part of it. But remember, there's always an underlying root cause to even your histamine-based issues. Okay, third one is neurological issues. So people with nerve inflammation, multiple sclerosis, or even anxiety, stress, anything that triggers a nervous system-based reaction, the nervous system is running under the skin, and it can innervate any part of the skin it wants, creating inflammation, which leads to sometimes an unexplained hypersensitivity or itchiness of the skin there. So it's important. All right, I talked about histamines, but I want to talk very specifically now about parasites. Parasites or, well, I'll talk about, parasites or fungal-based infections. So Parasites directly, not including sexually transmitted disease, parasites can lead to skin itchiness, anal itching specifically, and itching anywhere literally on the body. So that's a big one, especially at night, if it happens at night. So that's kind of a big giveaway. Another one is fungal infections, but also internally. So candida overgrowth in the gut itself from taking too many antibiotics, etc., or it can actually be topically as well. So someone asked in the podcast as well about jock itch or athlete's foot or yeast infection that some women get. So all of those can be skin-based, not just internal. So we work on both of those, but that's certainly a reason for skin itchiness. Okay, next one, psoriasis and eczema. Although it might be easy to get a diagnosis for those. Again, they're not underlying root causes. So they absolutely lead to skin itchiness, right? So eczema, kind of a bubbly, flaky patch of skin. Psoriasis, a deeper, more raw patch of skin. Eczema, usually gut food sensitivity related, often happen in younger kids. And then psoriasis, more autoimmune based, typically with leaky gut, intestinal permeability, plus higher levels of stress. So we've seen this for many, many years in our practice, and we often do see that. Okay, backup of the detox organs, which is why sauna can be helpful. When the liver and or kidneys are not filtering toxins like they should, they can start to be backed up, leading to itchiness, even without skin rash. And it's not always just kind of under the right side of the rib cage for the liver or gallbladder or in the lower back for the kidneys. It can show up anywhere the body's looking to push out these toxins, sometimes in the folds, behind the knees, in the elbow creases, although that's not as common, under the armpits are all common places for fungal-based infections as well, but also liver, kidney. One that I wanted to add on this is hormones, most specifically low thyroid. So low thyroid can lead to dry skin and itchiness, and it is a common cause that we see. So it's like some of it's just low fats. I'm going to talk about, why don't I talk about that next? So I'll go to that next. So low thyroid can lead to thinning of the hair. It can lead to poor circulation. It can lead to dry skin, right? So this is a big one. Back of the calves is a big one for dry skin there. Inside of the thighs, especially during the winter, right? The heat sucking out the hydration out of your body. Sometimes you're taking hotter showers. And if you have low thyroid, well, that just combats it. Your skin is so dry. Then that's one of the reasons for the dry skin. So you can run your stress hormone metabolism test, look at your hormones, namely that thyroid, make sure that it's not functionally low. That means TSH may be normal, but you might have low T3. That's why we always have the test for free T3 as well. Okay. Next one, let's talk about medications and supplements. So there are supplements that can cause skin itchiness. So like a beta-alanine pre-workout supplement or a vitamin B3 at too high a dosage can cause a flush of the skin, and that can feel like itchiness. So that's always a possibility. But also deficiencies. So vitamin B12, zinc, and iron are some of the biggest ones that cause skin itchiness and deficiencies. And I'll also name B6 as one of those as well, because I've seen that, because it affects the nervous system, right? So if it affects the nervous system in a positive way, B6 helps with the nervous system. So anemia. So people can have anemia from low B12, low copper, or low iron. And many people who are anemic often get skin itchiness. So need to run the blood work, look at your total iron binding capacity, your ferritin levels, iron percentage saturation, and you're going to find out if you're anemic or not. Okay, it's a really important one. And it can show up in your complete blood count as well with your MCV, MCHC, etc. All right, next one. And we only have 3 more. So the next one is behavioral. You will sometimes see people, instead of cracking their knuckles or kind of tilting their head side to side, or, shaking their leg, right, bouncing their foot, they will itch their skin. It's maybe a little bit of that anxiety that I was talking about earlier, but it's also sometimes just a go-to, a bad habit. And we need to be careful that when we're worried or we're thinking about something, that our go-to isn't biting our nails or itching. And some people do. So just be aware of that. Do you have a trigger that causes you to just start scratching your neck? I see that. That's actually a good tell. So when some people get anxious or nervous, they just reach their neck and they start to scratch their neck. I've seen that multiple times in my practice. So multiple times. All right. This one is extremely important. When you have skin itchiness, especially around the belly, but it could be anywhere in your body, oftentimes there is a GI issue. There is some type of candida overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, the H. pylori, parasites with leaky gut, and that what comes out of your intestines then, your immune system begins to attack it, whether it's yeast or mycotoxin metabolites or bacteria or undigested proteins, inflames the immune system, and it can show up as skin itchiness in some people. So really important that we look on that. And the last one is this, environmental factors. So I named it a little bit with wintertime, but every once in a while in the winter, it's cold in New England. I'm up here and you've got the heat on and you might be getting drier lips. That's a dead giveaway. That's hydration. And that you're taking hot showers and that's pulling moisture out of your skin. And you are not just drinking enough fluids or maybe putting on some natural moisturizer, things like that. So it can be environmental in that way. But it can also be exposure to hot and cold. That does it for many people. So they'll literally be exercising or moving or go from hot to cold and they get tingliness on their skin. Even like the first starting of sweat begins to make the skin tingle and itch a bit. And then after that, it starts to subside or go away. That can also be a histamine-based response. Remember, histamines will respond to hot and cold, oftentimes going from like a cold environment and then coming inside. And then all of a sudden your eyes water and you might get a little itchiness, maybe in the back of your throat or anywhere in your body. So these are all of the main triggers for itchiness of the body. I know it was kind of a lot that we went through, but I want you to have them all. I've said this before that everything has an underlying root cause. Everything can be fixed. And I usually do say that most issues have between 6 and 12 different reasons why. I didn't name medications. Some medications like opioids, NSAIDs, antibiotics have skin itchiness as a side effect as well. So, but remember, there's always an underlying root cause as to what ails you. So when you begin to look at the different variables and understand, sure, I talked about a lot, but I basically talked about 11 or 12. That's it. And so then we would just do process of elimination, right? We'd say, okay, you taking any medications? No. Okay, well, it's not a medication. Are you taking, let's say like a daily activated multivitamin or daily nutritional support or whatever it might be? Okay, then you're probably not deficient in these specific things. And we just keep going down the list. You say, well, I don't know if I've got issues. I don't know if I have thyroid issues. All right, well, let's run the big 5. Or let's at least run the stress mood and metabolism test. It might be heavy metals. Okay, well, let's run the minerals and metals test. So you can do these things in order to be able to find out what your underlying root cause is. You can work directly with a practitioner, or you can just start to work these on your own as well. That's always up to you. I'm always going to provide you with a free podcast every day. And if you ever want to run your own at-home lab tests or work with one of my team members, feel free just to head on over to eco.life or the short link. Actually, it's not shorter than eco.life, that's for sure. But you can go to stephencabral.com/shop. That just takes you over to our private practice and see all the different labs that come with the consultation, the different protocols, and anything that may help. So my goal is just to get you the information. What you do with it is totally up to you, but hopefully this was helpful. And of course, if it was, do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.